That is the Mood Master, Mr. Anthony Garcia. I'm Wallace Allen, your host. This is Empire Talks Back. We'll be talking to some people from New Hope Missionary Baptist Church of San Bernardino right after this break. Pastor Michael Owens, Ms. Beverly Jones-Wright, our trustee. Trust me, you're going to enjoy this show.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen, and as I promised, this is Mr. Michael Owens, Pastor Michael Owens, New Hope Missionary Baptist Church, and Miss Beverly Jones-Wright, a trustee at that church. Welcome.
Thank you. Good
How
to
you
be
doing?
here. Wonderful.
Good. So, why are you here?
I'm here because I am the pastor of New Hope Missionary
That's
Baptist
what
Church.
I'm talking about. You are the new pastor at New Hope Missionary Baptist Church.
Yeah.
Relatively new, almost a year now?
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. I guess someone's been missing church lately.
Yeah.
What can I
I'm
say?
sure to go another
Almost
one.
2 years, Pastor. So after 2 years, what's the hospitality in our warm city of San Bernardino and the Inland Empire like? How are things going?
Well, I know the hospitality at New Hope is warm and welcoming. I've been a beneficiary of that
Excellent.
for enough time to know now that it's just in them to be that way.
Excellent.
I'm starting to get out and about in the empire a little bit more, and I'm finding the people to be much the same. So it's good to be here in sunny California, and it's good to be a Californian after being in Detroit for 18 years.
Well, I would imagine so, especially this time of the year.
Absolutely.
But we're glad that you are here. So with the being at New Hope for 2 years, being welcomed at New Hope for 2 years, is there anything that we don't like?
Well,
Nah, I tell you what, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, you
Well,
better go there.
I know you don't like the fact that I haven't been showing up at church as often as possible. You've got a big church. Is everybody welcome?
everybody's welcome.
Are we looking for new members?
Yes, we like to say the doors swing on welcome hinges.
Very good.
And after all, it's not our house, it's God's house, and He welcomes everybody.
Very, very good. And that's the way my friends have told me as I've sent them to church as opposed to bringing them to church. Everybody knows I'm on radio on Sunday morning. That's why I'm not at church every Sunday. But my heart is there. I've heard wonderful things about you. My wife talks about how well your messages penetrate on a regular basis, and I've heard you speak too, and I have to agree that that's the case. You're going to have some special preaching coming up. You've got the Passover time. Easter's coming, 21st of this month. What are we doing special at New Hope for that?
Well, we're already in the Lenten season, but the Lenten season climaxes during Holy Week, which begins for us on Palm Sunday, the second Sunday in April, Sunday the 14th, and goes on through to Resurrection Sunday, Easter Sunday morning. So from end to end, we've planned worship services, revival services, fellowship with other churches, traditional Good Friday, 7 last words service, and then 3 worship services on Easter Sunday itself beginning at 5 a.m. So what is special is the opportunity to introduce New Hope and the Island Empire to some new voices that perhaps they've not experienced before. One of the sons of the churches, Dr. Fairley, Fred Fairley, the former pastor's son, will kick off the celebration on Palm Sunday, and he's been coming for the better part of 20 years.
Okay.
And then they will hand off to Dr. Renita Weems, who's well known in the AME church community, PhD scholar and co-founder of an AME church, community church, with her husband in Nashville, Tennessee, and Dr. E. Edward Branch from Detroit, where I hail from these last 18 years. And so we're very confident that if people come to the table, it'll be set to feed them to overflowing.
Excellent, excellent. Sharing your pulpit.
Yes, absolutely. I'm just pleased to be able to sit back and take it all in with everybody else.
Well, I think the people that you're bringing in to occupy your pulpit when you're not there, obviously satisfying to your congregation, and demonstrates, the level of sharing and confidence that I think we all would like to see our religious leaders provide. Let's talk about the church just a little bit, Ms. Jones-Wright. You are a trustee. Is there a specific area of trust that we provide or that you provide?
Yes, I provide the civic and social activities, which kind of comes up under this umbrella along with publicity and communications. And so I spend a good majority of my time being involved in representing New Hope and the city in community and civic activities.
The church is an organization. People visit churches. Many of them understand the organizations like you do. Many people just come, some come just to get out of the rain. How is the church organized? How do we make decisions in the church? How did we look up and find this great man to come and pastor for New Hope Missionary Baptist Church?
Well, in some regards, the church resembles government authority in that he is the pastor who is the chief and the leadership of the church, but then we have the auxiliary of the deacon and the deaconess who handle the spiritual affairs and assist particularly families in difficulties and problems they might have, and the coordination of the general worship on Sundays. Then you have the trustees, which I am a part of. We handle the financial and the property, logistic kind of issues. And we also have auxiliaries like the women's mission circles. We have usher board. We have all sorts of other auxiliaries, laymen who deliver services to congregants as they so choose in their various departments.
Some of those services, some of that outreach, some of the things that the church does to comfort its members beyond activity and services on Sunday. Some of those things, could you tell us?
Some of those things include bereavement. For example, I am getting the love and affection of my church members now in the way of bereavement and my father's passing. We also assist people who are having issues with their children. People who have...
I can't let you just keep going talking about the fact that your father just recently passed without me bringing up the fact that you have demonstrated to anyone watching a level of devotion and attention to your father that's amazing. And I just would like to take a public moment and salute you for that.
Thank you.
You are a saint.
Thank you. So we have funeral services, you know, we have support for parents who are having difficulty with their children. We have grief recovery. You can probably come to the church for just about any need that you might have.
We have
and there's a committee or auxiliary or personalities who can help you through it.
There's a community closet.
Yes, we have a community clothes closet. We also have a family life center, which houses a whole entity of nonprofit businesses. So New Hope is involved in every aspect of community life and congregation life.
I know that there's a benevolent committee. Communities have problems. Sometimes it's restricted to your membership. Sometimes it's not. What is your philosophy on benevolent giving? Is that something that we keep within the church? Is that something that goes to the community? And how do we rationalize that?
Our benevolent service is available to anybody who needs it. I indicated to you that the deacons took care of the kind of family issues of that nature. So if one has a need, they simply need to make an appointment with the deacons, and they'll try their best to assist you in whatever your difficulties might be.
Pastor Owens, you've been around, though you are coming from a church that you were at for some years, but you've been around. The things that you see going on at New Hope don't go on at all churches, or am I naive?
I think that it's a matter of magnitude. The New Hope Missionary Baptist Church has been exceedingly blessed to be very resourceful in both personal and material and financial resource, and there's no hesitancy to employ that to meet people's needs. I think most churches we share the same heart and a common mindset about ministry, but I'm finding not only a wealth of goodwill, but a wealth of resources to apply. And they're not all financial. Some people come in the door when the church is open just for prayer in the chapel that's right across the hall from the main office. Sometimes they come in asking for counsel. Sometimes they come in asking for direction to other resources. So as long as the church is open and the people are present there to receive them, they can get a myriad of gifts and talents applied to whatever it is that they need, so that they walk out feeling like they've been blessed.
I know that my attendance doesn't demonstrate the pride and admiration that I have for what goes on at that church.
Actually, there's somebody there that looks like you, and I keep mistaking him for you being there.
so that means that my friend Felton, the man in charge out here, his what do we call that thing when I'm there and I'm not there, Felton?
Absence.
Absence? No. Anyway, it's my apparent clone. So,
Yeah.
but we appreciate that. What are some of the things that are really concerning within the church and outside of the church that you are?
Your theme for the youth.
This is the year of the child at New Hope. We adopted the theme for our church ministries this year as with a child's heart, learning, growing, and maturing in Jesus Christ. And so I have a congregation of persons who are more on the senior end of their years, retirees from various professions and what have you. And sometimes you just need to dial back to the basics and where you began the journey, and appreciate the start that we got in Christ and who introduced us, and make sure that the young people and the generations coming behind us have that kind of start and benefit from our experience. And so no matter how senior we are, how long we've been in the church, to the Lord, we're still children, we're still learning and growing. And so that's really the driving theme for our work this year. And we will focus on that during the revival. Our ministries will focus on that during the year. And hopefully our young people, our children and youth, will be much more blessed and benefited by us giving them their due attention this year.
What type of programs do we have for the youth at the church?
Well, as you well know, one of the more popular programs is the Summer Youth Employment.
An amazing
of which
program.
all of our kids
Yeah.
had the opportunity to be employed from the time they were 14 to they turned 18. And we have the youth department, which is taught leadership skills and have some opportunity to learn how the church operates, so that, as Pastor said, when those of us are gone, there'll be people who can continue the tradition and continue sharing the love of God in the
Passing
community.
passing the baton as subtly as possible, so that we don't scare them away, right? There are responsibilities at the church. There's obligations. It's a family. All of those things that a family has at their home is probably multiplied in terms of the needs at the church. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, let's talk a bit more about some of the things that we're able to do to comfort people. And as we do that, maybe we'll entice some people to say, wow, maybe I better go over to that church. We'll be right back.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps.
Did Pete saying mean things bother ya?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Welcome back. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. Today we're talking with Pastor Michael Owens of New Hope Missionary Baptist Church, San Bernardino, and Ms. Beverly Jones-Wright, a trustee at the church. We've been discussing some of the things that the church does internally, and I'd like to talk a little bit and ask some of the things that we're doing to do outreach. I think we spoke about some of them. You spoke a bit earlier, Beverly, about a summer youth project work program. I have been, as a business, I've been the beneficiary of having the students come work with us. Actually, we've had some students who've moved on and are doing quite well in the field of journalism as a result of that exposure. Tell us more about that program.
Well, the Summer Youth Program is basically a 4 to 6 week program that allows the kids to work 4 hours a day. The way we try to pattern the program is to teach them interview skills, teach them how to fill out an application, and also how to be good stewards when they're employed. Come on time, be responsible. And so it has been very beneficial, and originally I think Wilbur Brown was one of the early coordinators because he and I realized that our kids weren't getting jobs for the summer. And when you want to be employed, it's nice if you have a resume to write something that you've already done. They had no experience, so we started to create the opportunity for them. They get to work 4 hours a week.
A day.
And we
4 hours a day.
4 hours a day, excuse me. And they generally try to get attached to a field that they're interested in. So you talked about earlier, some of your students have gone on to be entrepreneurs. Some of them have been placed in lawyers' offices and gone on to be lawyers. And so we are quite proud of that connection and the things that they're able to learn while they're working for the summer. And of course, they always appreciate the change.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're talking about the elements that we as adults are concerned about, but the beautiful part of the program as far as the kids was concerned is that they got paid. They get paid. They get paid a bit more than minimum, I guess.
Right.
What they were getting paid in the past is what is minimum now, that $12 an hour. But that was a tremendous push for the young people, and it was a nice piece of leverage for us as the businesses to know that, hey, you are being paid, you are going to show up on time, and if you don't, we're going to call Miss Beverly. But we've had good workers, and of course there's some workers who are about getting by. And if we do the right thing as the employer, we help straighten that out so that they're going to be a good employee or business owner for someone in the future. But that's a great program. It's almost telling the truth. The kids, we know kids who have become semi-members at New Hope Missionary Baptist Church about a month before the summer youth program comes so that they qualify to get that good job experience. And you know what? It's not a secret, and the people at the church know it, and that, once again, speaks for the generosity, and it speaks for the concern of the development of our kids, and we appreciate that. What other programs are we involved with for our young people during this time frame?
We have the Young Men and the Boys Retreat. In September, they go up to camp, and they have an exceptional opportunity to be mentored by men of the church for a weekend, and they get spiritual development and some other areas of workshop to help them learn to become better people. That is another one of our more popular activities that the young men look forward to participating in.
Very good. There was an experience that your son and my son had at a summer camp that made them become very spiritual, Pastor. There was a bear that they saw close to us. They noticed that there was a bear lurking not too far away, and they gathered up the kids, and they did something that made us all proud. So you've got the summer program, the camp program for the young men in September. I understand too that we're going to have Vacation Bible School.
Yes, we have Vacation Bible School. I believe that's in July, and it's 3 days and evenings, but it's for the whole family, so it's not just youth oriented, but persons of any age can have a class and have Christian education together. Like intergenerational learning is very important. We also have scholarship assistance. It's time to graduate some young people from high school into college, and so our focus has been to try to track them early enough so that we are engaging them before it's time for them to graduate, so that they leave us with more to work with and a stronger foundation. They come on back and bring their gifts and talents with them. Also Christian arts. We just made sure that we have a person on our ministerial staff who works with the young people in mime and liturgical dance, and she has a master's in fine arts, and is very well known and respected in the area, and she's working with us on a more consistent basis now, and we're thankful that the young people are called Unspeakable Praise. And they've been very good ambassadors for the church out and about in the community, not just in the church setting, but in the civic setting. I believe when the Rosa Parks tribute was unveiled, they were a part of that experience. And so our young people are an intricate part of what we do at New Hope, and they help keep us young and help us upgrade our ministries to be more contemporary and relevant. And so we appreciate them a great deal and welcome other young people to join it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Are there issues, I know there are, that are non-church based that basically do affect the church that we're concerned about in general?
Everything that affects people in general affects us at the church, because we expect them to apply their faith and their religious training to the decisions and to the courses that they take in life. So we're very much concerned about education. We're very much concerned about what's happening in the political arena, leadership. So developing their social skills and their ability to discern truth from falsehood and good leadership from bad is very important, not just for the youth, but for adults and families in general. So worship is the centerpiece of what we do, but we are a full-service church. We're open Sunday through Saturday, and that means that we always have to have ministries and programs that minister to people where they are in their home life and in their community life and in their church life.
There was an organization created as a result of the terrorist shooting at the county, Pastors United. Ministers like you've come together to deal with violence in the community, deal with incidents that need counseling and consulting. And you, New Hope Missionary Baptist Church, actually hosted a block party that was put together by the Pastors United. I guess it was recent. That kind of outreach implies quite a bit. Homelessness, hunger. How do we deal with that? If you had the solution, I know you would have already told the world about that, but what are we doing to deal with that?
Well, I think it begins with a unified front, that it's everybody's problem if it's anybody's problem. So we joined with the San Bernardino Pastors United in the block parties, because they're not just one and done. It's a quarterly exercise of coming together in various locations in the community where you actually go where the people are, and they can get to you dressed like they dress and bringing what they need to bring, their babies in tow, their children, their families in a park or school or what have you. And it draws the church on the outside of its walls too, which is good exercise for us. But I think it begins with that kind of unity, the appropriate application of resources, financial and material, as well as demonstrating a heart for the circumstances that people find themselves having to live with and live through. And when they see us out there where they are, then they know that we're real, rather than just, sounding the megaphone for them to come to the house. We come to the street.
And you are not just there speaking and preaching. You're delivering clothes and food and other things that people need to help make their quality of life better, but for the moments that those things are delivered. And like you say, the promise of the future is there because you are opening the doors to your church. As we close out the show, let's open the doors to the church again and remind people about the season that we're in and the reason for the season and what you're doing at New Hope Missionary Baptist Church to acknowledge that.
You forgot to mention one signature activity we have now.
Please.
Is we serve breakfast after the 7 o'clock service.
You serve breakfast?
Every
They
morning.
serve free breakfast after the 7 o'clock service. Now, if that's not an incentive for the 9:30 people to come in at 7,
exactly.
I don't know what is. That's a great thing. That is. People that know me know that I say things like this all the time. You guys serve the breakfast, and it's free. Don't look at me funny now.
Yes, it
I
is.
mean, we all buy breakfast. somewhere. Let me just ask you this. Is there a donation cup anywhere at that breakfast table?
No, there.
Yeah, I would like to suggest.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
But that is a great idea, and it is something that should be mentioned, Beverly. Thank you for bringing that up, because I do know many people who are blessed to have breakfast there. Matter of fact, since my show's at 10 o'clock, maybe I need to be coming to the 7 o'clock service to get myself stirred up and fired up to go.
We used to have services 3 services on Sunday morning, 7, 9:30, and 11:30. And there are some people who serve all day, they're there all day long, and
Yes.
others come in various shifts. So we're trying to recognize the need to be physically sustained in order to be there to get what you spiritually need to be fed with as well. So we're trying to accommodate multi-dimension of needs at the same time.
That still adds up to free breakfast. All right, you guys, free breakfast.
But you need to come to church.
As eloquently as he put it, it says free breakfast. Okay? Yeah. Oh, and a good message. And good singing. Got a very good choir.
Very good.
Excellent choir.
When we start the Holy Week celebration off with those Palm Sunday services and Dr. Fairley in the morning, we will have, excuse me, a concert. With our combined choirs and our Christian Arts Ministries that afternoon at 4. On the other end, we'll have Maundy, Thursday communion service on Thursday, and then Good Friday, 7 Last Words on Friday. And Assemblyman James Ramos has agreed to be one of the proclaimers that night. So when he joins
so we're
us,
going to do a little Indian bird dancing on that evening too.
You might.
he will
Well,
come
no,
he will come as a cleric.
Spiritual.
That's right. That's
yes.
right. That's excellent. That is wonderful. Okay. I was going to ask you to explain that Thursday night service.
Thursday night is a communion fellowship. Traditionally, Thursday night highlights the Passover, the Last Supper of the Lord Jesus with his disciples. And so we make a point to invite another congregation in this year. It's New Joy Baptist Church in Riverside. Reverend Paul S. Mumford is pastor. And they will share with us in fellowship and communion.
And you call that?
Maundy, Thursday.
Spell that?
Maundy.
Very good. That's not trying to be Monday. That's Maundy. What does that mean?
Well, it just refers to that particular occasion and the need to reflect on what it is that the Lord is asking of his disciples as he prepares to depart.
Very good. Thank you for that education. Now I'll be able to explain it, because people have asked me, and I have said maybe we should try to reach Beverly on the phone to answer that. You've given me a good answer. I appreciate that. Anything else that we need to say other than services every Sunday?
Every Sunday.
Okay, we're not waiting for Easter.
Right.
We're not waiting for Good Friday. We're having service every Sunday, Bible study every
Wednesday.
twice on Wednesday or once?
Twice.
Noon.
12 noon and 6 p.m. in the evening.
And once again, everybody's welcome to attend that.
Address.
1575 West 17th Street.
1575 West 17th Street, and that
San
actually means
Bernardino.
that you're really on
Corner
Medical
of
Center
Medical
Drive
Center
and
Drive
on
and
17th Street. And people at the community hospital emergency place tell folks that we're on this street and we're right across the street from New Hope Missionary Baptist
really?
Church. So you're across the street from them, the emergency community
Hospital.
hospital, and they are across the street from you.
From you,
And
okay.
you are in my heart. I really appreciate you spending this time with me, and I appreciate you being so kind about my attendance.
Yeah. I'll tell
Lack thereof.
I'll tell that fella that looks like you
Yeah,
trade
well,
places with you so you
Just
can
so that I'm able to come in and watch that guy that he doesn't eat too much breakfast.
Well, his wife Josephine represents very well for the both of
Why
them.
can't you have a double? One that goes to church.
One that goes to church. Anthony Garcia, the Mood Master, has all the answers. And if you ever need one, answer that is, please feel free to give us a call. 909-915-7922. We will help solve your problem, and maybe we'll help you get on TV if that's what you're calling about. This is Empire Talks Back. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your service. I want to thank you for what you're doing in the future for our children and our community. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, guys. See you next time. Thank you for spending your time. We will see you then.